Greetings, dear, precious, magnificent, beautiful, genius that you are, spirit soul. I'm talking about who you really are, not who you were taught in school to be, not what your family taught you to be unless they were cool people, not what the government tells you to do because you're not, not because any religion tells you, because you see, God doesn't have a religion. See, the source doesn't have a religion. It's a religion. Get you into a legion again, a group of whatever. There's good stuff there. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's good stuff. Here's my topic. I've got to figure out why I just had it. This is it. How to prosper by doing the work you love. How to prosper by doing the work you love. Okay, what happens is people are, young people especially, we're all eternal, but you know, little bodies have been here less time than our bodies have at this point. Keep your wisdom, you do know. All right, they've been taught to work in an assembly line. You look at China and you look at these people where they can't even jump off and commit suicide. They'll catch them in a net and put them back to work again. Because, and then you have to look at also, you vote with your dollars. And if you know that there's torture going on, don't buy those products. Let those products starve to death, because you give everything your energy by where you put your money, you vote with that, or your attention, your focus. All of this, you're a creative being. You got to know you're not just some meat stick, some cartoon character walking around who just somebody whose identity is based on their latest TV show and the latest kind of so-called noise they call music, but is actually in a vibratory rate that is abusive and warlike. All of it designed because it takes away from natural. If you notice, everything is becoming more unnatural. It's unnatural. We could change your sex. We could change this. We can do that. It's also, we're not natural anymore. We'll have the babies in rent a womb, or we'll do it in the laboratory, so you don't have to go through all that trouble, you know. You notice that some children don't even have a mother. They may look like a woman, but they don't have a mother. And what happens when people don't have a mother, they don't know the milk of human kindness. They don't know, they themselves do not have that recognition or acknowledgement. Okay, so we're being told, like in educational systems, so that you work in a convenience store, that you work in a fast foods restaurant, that you work in an assembly line, putting something together, a little piece of a thing every single day, and you get enough food that you can go eat, and then you can go sit in your little box, because you got a little bed. You got to have your equipment too, so you can get lost in virtual reality some more, and you can have a little sex doll in the corner. You can turn this on, you know. So it's like they're doing all this stuff. Say, isn't it great? This is an artificial world, and you know, I don't even have to water the plants anymore because they're not real, and I don't even have to worry about growing food because they make my food and they just send it over in a little box. Well, what's in it? I don't know. Okay. You got to take a look at what you want your life to be about. And what happens is, with the mind, is people are told over and over and over and over that they have to survive. And we are given all these statistics, all this information, all of this, to have us make up our mind as an opinion, for us to decide what we're going to do in order to survive, to get the meager amount that we need in order to maintain the body. What you want to do is, when we find out what you love, what do you like? What are you drawn to? I know for me, I was drawn to spiritual studies. So immediately, when I started going to a spiritual center, metaphysical center, but it was also very open at the time, Many of these spiritual centers are no longer open because they're not teaching the original metaphysical teachings at all. They're teaching something that's coming from another program. And they've infiltrated all these other areas with their people in order to get everybody into group think, group consciousness, group action, dumbing down people with half-truths. So we say, well, there's my truth and your truth and our truth and their truth. There's a bunch of, I don't know if they're people anymore or they're just a psychophants of some kind. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so take a look. So I love spiritual matters, and I also love to share and help others, and I noticed I was a natural teacher in that sense. I never took a teaching course. You think, well, you probably should have. Or never took a course on how to give a talk or a lecture, because you have to do certain things in order to play by the rules, because you got to play by the rules if you're going to write. We'll do your, I don't like that on the email. Now, they give you your suggested replies. I don't even care if I would reply that way. I don't go automation. Stay away from it, because you're then an automaton. And everybody basically is a robot. And how they are is a biological robot. You get the training to whatever the job is, and they tell you exactly what you need to do, and you don't need to do any more or any less, and you show up to do that. So the program is running you. You know the program, you do the program. In this world, with this digital reality, virtual reality that is the overlay of our true divine nature and who we are, is that everything's predictable, because in that sense you're going along to get along, and you follow those orders, and they tell you that you'll never make it because you'll never have, and then you say billion, and then they'll give these people millions and billions of dollars and throw it in your face to make you feel like, well, I could never attain that, I'm never good enough, and because I really don't have anything, and I'm a nothing, and I'm a nobody, and I want to be a somebody, and then maybe you find a little criminal group over here you can get involved with, or another little criminal group over here you can get involved with, or whatever the person is doing. And what I realized is that when I was studying spiritual matters, it was so interesting to me, and the divine experiment, and I did my ministry, big one in San Diego, and television ministry. Actually, I've done more YouTube videos now. Michael has made, is the videographer and editor and such, so we're working together on this, than I ever made, maybe 3 times as many as I ever did on my 6-year international Emmy-winning television program that was worldwide. And the thing is, I always prospered from doing the work that I love. And what happens is, I remember Flip Wilson. I don't know if you remember Flip Wilson. He was a wonderful comedian. And he said, I never took a second job. And he would practice his comedy act, and sometimes he said he had to sleep in public toilets. This is growing up. He said, but I just kept at it, and he would rework his act, and he'd, maybe for guys in a bar, and they'd give him hard-boiled eggs or something for lunch, or he'd get a little money, and he just kept working at it. And he was one of the most wonderful comedians, very kind-hearted, not nasty or cruel to people, and a very lovely person. Picasso, the great artist, said, I never took a second job. I'm not telling you can't take a second job. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying any of this. But I'm saying if there is something that is what you want a lifestyle. You want a lifestyle. Why I live in nature is because of the integrity of nature. I don't care about living. I don't want to live in apartment buildings. I've done that. I don't want to live in neighborhoods with a lot of people. I don't want to live in conglomerates and smart cities with smart phones and smart meters, and because they all are the opposite. They're all dumb phones, dumb meters, dumb this. It's always the opposite. The when is put out there, everything is opposite to what you're being programmed to believe is true and real and absolute. And then they'll tell you in a philosophy that's teaching partial truths, they'll say that there's nothing absolute. So they just made an absolute out of there's nothing absolute. So they made absolute, not absolute, absolute. Isn't that great? That's tricky. That's word magic. And you got to know, I teach you word magic. You have to know what this is, what you're saying, what is being told to you, because you need to be discerning. You need to be able to chart your course as you move through those waters in the world that are trying to dictate to you what is possible for you and how to live and how to be. And you want to actually stop agreeing with or taking into yourself that which is against you, that is not harmonious with you. You could be around a group of people and they're all talking about how bad it is, how awful it is, how terrible it is. It's not going to... Yeah, you got to know what's going on. That's it. But if you emotionalize it and you give it power, so you can witness, I can watch, I can see, I can do it, but every time you're reacting to it, you're reacting from a programmed belief that is energizing fear. And when that fear comes up, it tends people become immobile. They hide, or they quit, or they go underground, or they just, it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? And they're in their mind trying to analyze and figure. Stop that. You want to learn how to meditate if you don't know how to meditate. And you want to do simple meditations. Like I teach a lot of breath meditation and such. So you know the distinction between yourself and the mind. And then in my mentoring work with career, I was able, and I knew starting from this person who was having a hard time giving 50 cents on a Sunday morning in the collection plate to, making millions of dollars and being able to do international television programs and travel everywhere that I wanted to and meet wonderful people and actually attain all of the different things that I've wanted in my life and live the way I choose to live with that freedom. And so this knowledge will give you that. And as a mentor, then I work with people in whatever their product, their service is, and how to have that be where you want it to be. Do you want it to be across the earth? Or do you want it to be in a special location? Is this going to be a digital reality out there? Is it going to be something you do at home? And you create your lifestyle so that you create the life that you want to live, regardless of what the world is telling you. You have to live and you have to do and how you have to be. And you'll find with the stuff that's going on, always, it's built on conflict. So you get one side against the other side, and all they want is to build anger and hatred of other people, of animals, of humans and everything. Build this, and of other people's opinions. So you can have any opinion you want, and I know where it's coming from. It's just your mind. When you share with me what you know, that's a whole different thing, because then I know, and then I know that you know. But when you're sharing only from your thoughts and your mind and your lack and limitation, and you're giving your reasons and excuses why it won't happen, and you can never have it, then you won't. So what you have to know is when you're a divine being, you only have one basic rule, and that means do not cause harm or distress to another living entity, animal or human, unless if you can help it. And that means they have the right, the respect and the right to live out their experience as they desire, and that you respect and know and honor who they really are. This is the greatest opportunity that we've ever had. We have worked for, you might say, since the beginning of time, and you've always been here. You have never not been here since you entered into the time-space game. And in that, you had to make one thing. You had to forget who you are. You had to forget who you are, place all your focus on the effects that you have manufactured through what you've agreed with, what you've believed, what you have taken on, no matter where it's come from or how it is. All that can change in a moment, and it changes in a moment. When you shift your reality from being a victim or a perpetrator or a savior, playing all these stupid little games that are being played out in the newspapers, in the media, blah, 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 libraries full of nonsense over, and people's stories and narratives and what this is about. Get real simple. It's right there where you are. And that my work is to work with great souls like yourself. And email me, Terry@terrycolewhitaker.com. I'm getting the retreats together, workshops, counseling session. I love the counseling sessions on the phone. And I am working with some people I've been working with for maybe 35 years. They're doing awesome things. Best-selling authors out there. Elizabeth Alanis is a Spanish version of one of my books, how her take on it, What You Think of Me, and what that meant to her. And it's out there free to the whole Hispanic community. Email me, I'll give you her website, and you can get the book for free right there for your friends. Anyway, I'm here to serve. And I can serve you when you reach out to me and tell me what you want and what you need. And I know how to facilitate that. Just like I'm a spiritual healer, healing facilitator. I don't do the healing. I don't say I'm a healer. I'm not. I don't do that. Because when you get in alignment with who you really are, your path is clear. And you find you're able to accomplish what before you thought was impossible, because you know you're not the doer. You know that the outer comes from the inner. And you know how to make something out of nothing. That's when you know how to do it. And then you take back and own all of your powers of manifestation. Dream big, my dear. It's all powerful and all possible for you. So, prosper by doing what you love. Have the lifestyle that you love. And when you do that, every single moment in every single place where you are, instead of remembering past dialogues and trying to change the past, or stop trying to focus always on the future and making plans what I can do, be in the powerful moment of now. And when you're now, you're fully there. All is possible for you, and I mean you. Hugs.